Hello everyone, Juice Bags here, playing a little Orcs Must Die 2 on co-op with Cheetah. Today we're trying the tower on endless mode, see what we can do here. We thought we might be able to improve on the high scores a little bit. So as our basic setup to start, it's lacking pretty heavily right at the beginning. Just not enough coin to really lay it all out like we want. See, we're missing a barricade right behind the spring trap, so we're going to have quite a bit flinging down the hallway that we're going to have to chase down before we can get everything all set up here. But you see, we're using a similar setup to my co-op run, or I'm sorry, my solo run. And Cheetah has a pretty mean solo high score on that one also. See, we're having to chase down some stragglers until we get a little bit more coin. Little 10x there, starting things off right. Basically, that's the very first thing you need to do, is get that additional barricade in. There's a little 11 in there too. Alright, so that'll take care of our down the hallway issue for the most part. There will still be a few that fling by until we get more grinders in place. But not a bad setup, not a bad start for wave 1. Nothing exceptional, but we did get an 11x in there. Now the next thing up, I want to get a Scorcher in place. And those web spinners, of course. The web spinner, of course, is one combo point, but it helps out quite a bit with control. And then it's also a non-damaging combo point. So since the orcs are a little bit squishy here at the beginning, we're going to go ahead and go with that. Get the Scorcher in next. Definitely a nice little setup here in the tower. Very fun also. A lot of orcs, so a lot of combos. It's always exciting to see those big numbers. Just shy of getting that Scorcher in. Yeah, nice little string of 10s there. Now you want to definitely pick your Jar of Ghost timing. There we go. A little bit, getting a little better. I mean, you want to try to get the largest group of mobs for the Jar of Ghosts, because of course that's got the long cooldown on it. So you want to make sure you're maximizing that extra combo point there. And there's the initial setup. This will basically go unchanged. I will add another Scorcher in later waves, but let's just get on to filtering. So as you see, we're got some grinders in place. Now we'll end up having tar running along the ground there in front of those also. Help keep those big guys at bay a little bit. And then we got it set up top here too. Now wave 7 here is your first sapper wave, so you have to be careful, pay attention, because there will be sappers coming in, goblin sappers and kobold sappers. A little bit of them all. Now you want to try to kill down those both of the variety of sappers without taking down any of your light, medium, or heavy orcs. So you have to be careful. You can't just spray into the crowd. You need to definitely be careful as to what you're shooting. Now it's pointless to shoot at those trolls since they have the regen down there, so just going to let him run. And then try to get set up here. Having to immobilize on the vampire gauntlets, I try to hit those trolls and ogres while they're in the grinders. Until the grinder jams, of course, and then let them move on. No point, of course, keeping them locked up in front of a jammed grinder. So once that grinder jams, just go ahead and let them keep moving. It is pretty random with the orcs missing the grinders. Now, as these grinders here jam, you'll have more of them flying down the hall, so you have to be conscious of what's behind you, since you're not looking at it. And make sure that there's nothing alive that's going to just run on into the rift on you. A little 12x to close out that wave.
Welcome to my lair.
And basically, to start each wave, just each one of you needs to take an entrance and keep an eye out for sappers or kobolds, or cobalt sappers or gnolls or whatever might be running through the mix. I'd like to pop those trolls just a couple of times with the vampire gauntlets, although I know it's not really doing anything to them. It is stunning them up. And then, you burn them down once they get into the grinders. Yeah, there's some gnolls coming. I missed that sapper. Good thing Cheetah was on top of it. Don't want no barricades getting blown up this early. Remember also, the rift does heal you on this map, so by all means, run back to it as often as you like. There's a nice little string. Some 14x's in there. We did end up getting a couple 15s, but they were not as abundant as I would have liked to have seen. I thought we were going to get more 15s, but we only ended up getting just a couple, like 2 or 3. But we did get quite a few 13s and 14s, and of course those those are very nice for your score too. Just that one little push right there was probably 1,000,000 points. There was, what, 3 or 4 13s in it, and then a couple of 10s. That was probably close to 1,000,000 points just from that one little wind belt blow. And then just nuking down the trolls. Cheetah's going to turn to stone, and then we're both going to blast the shit out of them. Alright, let's go ahead and move on forward one more time. So we're at wave 15 now. Using that rift to get healed up a little bit. And you see we extended our filters out along that wall also. Got 4 more grinders there. Just waiting for those cobalt sappers, and they're going to run on back up top. Lost these barricades here, so definitely need to get that squared away. Whoever's got the barricades after, say, I don't know, wave 15 or something, you need to be taking the majority of the coin, because you are going to lose barricades. As you see, we've got several barricades around that have taken a little bit of damage. Just in time for a 13x. We've got some elementals coming. Now the elementals are abundant on this map, but they're also next to the regular ogres, they're probably the easiest big mob to deal with. Then breaking apart kind of sucks, but it's not that difficult. They're very easy to headshot if you're using the crossbow, and then they take pretty good damage with the vampire gauntlets and the stone staff. So. Piece of cake there. Got us little money bags, of course, on wave 15. Get a little extra cash. Yeah, towards the end, we are still getting combos off the little orcs, but we're mainly concerned about just nuking these guys down. There we go. There was wave 15. Get a little break now. Here we got 2 grinders in there we added. We've got the whole stretch of them down here. And going with a little bit more. Now we did discover that these hallways, or the tops of the stairs with the little stairs there, it's pretty much a 1 grinder trap. You can put a second grinder there, but if you put the second barricade out offset so that it blocks it properly, then the little orcs are going to go up to their stairways by the rolling logs, and they're going to, you know, the grinders are going to give them some damage. We don't want the light, medium, and heavy orcs triggering the grinders. Yeah, you see there, we were discussing it. We tried moving it in a half a square, like so.
I'll shape their path.
But they, you know, as much of a gap as that is, they still triggered that grinder. So we ended up moving it all the way back flush, right next to each other. And we debated on putting some more grinders down at the bottom, but just don't have the coin yet. There's quite the long run for the orcs to get up to you on this map, so you have plenty of room for a really nice filtration system. Of course, that second exit doesn't get as much as the first. Big crossbow guy wave here. And got some mages coming, those evil bastards. Trying to find a spot to get some shots off on them while they're in the grinders. I finally settled on that one. Try to at least get those mages, you know, if not dead, just at least softened up a bit. That way the grinders can take them out the rest of the way. Why do they mix heavy crossbow guy waves with mages? How evil was that? All the range just shooting their shit at you. Definitely a tough combination with crossbow guys and mages. Come on in, little crossbow guys. No need to stand there and shoot at us. That probably would have been a good... that probably would have been the best time to pop the jar of ghosts, but I did not. See, we got quite a few 14s without them, and then I realized I should have popped it already, and I just ended up blowing it on this little pack just to get the cooldown ticking again. It takes so long for the orcs to get up to you at the beginning. You know, try to use it at your biggest pack, but if you haven't used it by the end of a wave, just use it up, because the cooldown will be refreshed before they get back up to you. Moving on along. Got wave 20 here. See, we still don't have any filters down below. We didn't end up going with some. You see, those barricades are smashed to shit also. Some sappers coming, lots of elementals. Lots of heavy orcs. Even though we're in the later waves, the heavy orcs still tend to yield the best combos. And we've got some gnolls coming. The gnolls are pretty easy to deal with the wind belt. In any spot on the map. On the stairs, up top. Getting them stunned up there, and Cheetah's just plucking them off and plucking them out of the crowd. This guy, I think, ends up getting caught up in the mix here. Or no, he's down. You pretty much will see double-digit combos almost your entire time. You know, there'll be very few single digits. And try to get that jar ghost going out there. Now, see, we had a little underkill on that one. That's a sign right there that it's time to add something else. See, we did add one more Scorcher behind that barricade to help out with that a little bit. But still getting a little bit of underkill. And then just a truckload of elementals. The Vampire Gauntlet Stone Staff is a pretty good combination against these guys, because the Vampire Gauntlets, it's really easy to keep a whole string of mobs immobilized. With the upgrade, and then of course the Stone Staff has the penetration, so you can just really get through the pack with it. It's nice when they're in a line and you can hit it once with the Stone Staff and it goes through and hits multiple mobs. Little money bags bringing us the loot.
Now it's time.
Got to get your free loot off full of money bags there. See those barricades down there, directly behind where I was standing right then, were pretty chewed up. I realized I was standing down there with no health, so it's not the smartest. One shot from a crossbow guy and you're dead. So came back up to get a little healing love up on the rift. We got us some Yetis coming. See, I accidentally picked that potion up. You have to definitely be careful with the potions. Don't waste them. You know, try to get them moved out of the way with the wind belt to a convenient area. Yetis are pretty easy to deal with for the most part.
Dead all in a row.
And remember, just like with the Grenadiers, you can wind belt their snowballs back at them. And we've got a bunch more heavy orcs coming through. And that was a nice little string, even in the later waves. If you catch it right, and you know, you have to control your burst of what you're spraying into them for your combo point for your personal weapon. You know, in these later waves, you have to hit them a little harder. So like that guy lived through the wash, so we didn't get much off of him. Yeah, anyway, you have to spray into them a little bit longer, soften them up a bit more, so that the traps can close the deal. Now, you want them to die in the grinders. You don't want, you know, of course, to kill them before they get there. The grinders offer 2 combo points, the bleed and then the grinder itself, so definitely want to make sure that's where they're dying. The grinder is the kill zone. And there we go. On to another break. I believe this break we set up all the way down at the bottom. Getting a couple of dummy barricades in place because the sappers will begin to get a little bit more intensive. They're pretty easy to deal with on this map because everything has such a... Besides that second entrance, like the first entrance there all the way at the bottom, everything has such a long run before they get to anything. It's pretty easy to handle them. And I got the coin, so I decided to go ahead and move that barricade, the dummy up, and get set up a little bit better for some grinders. Decided to go ahead and get rid of those and space them a little bit better to make better use of those barricades. And you want to make sure that your dummy barricade is at least 2 squares away. If you have it any closer, then your other barricades are going to take damage. And you don't want that. So, moving on forward, this is where we start to really get our asses handed to us. You see there's just a shitload of elementals coming. And we ended up accidentally shooting both of the rolling logs, so we didn't have the logs to save for any of the harder fire ogre waves or troll waves or whatever. One of them got used on elementals, and of course, if you have the Earth Lords there and you hit the rolling log on them, it's going to knock the Earth Lord down, but it's going to just split into the others. It's not going to completely kill it, so you're better off saving those rolling logs for the ogres, mountain trolls, stuff like that. Of course, the mountain trolls are just a bitch to burn down, so it's nice if you save them for those. Trying to keep that entire pack immobilized, which is a little bit difficult when they're spread out that far, but the vampire gauntlets are still pretty effective in that aspect. You see the little red glow on their faces. That's the immobilize effect. And although we try our best to get these elementals knocked down, this turns out to be the end for us. Get pushed back by the elementals. Ended up being pretty pleased with the score, though. $57 million. That's a pretty sizable improvement over the previous high score. But Cheetah and I are definitely becoming quite the combo, and we're going to do whatever we can to make sure we run up the score on several of the maps, see what we can really lay out there. But thanks again for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. There will be a lot more Orcs Must Die coming soon.